In this video, we are joined by the fellows over at the Bad Thoughts podcast and Citrus George. We're talking all kinds of stuff today. We are going to dip into a lot of Disneyland, but we're also going to talk about just life stuff. We're going to talk about a bunch of things, whatever's on our mind today. It's going to be a really, really cool kicking it kind of conversation. Up next on OG55. Welcome aboard to another episode of OG55. We are joined today by the Bad Thoughts podcast crew. We got Tonez, we got Candid Camper. Tonez, first time on the channel. Welcome aboard, brother.
How you doing, man? Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure, dude. If you could let everybody at home know where they can find you on social media, YouTube, all that good stuff.
Yeah, you can find me on Tonez_TV on all platforms, and our new podcast, Bad Thoughts Podcast, on YouTube, and you can find us on TikTok and Instagram as well.
Awesome. And I'll be linking all that down below in the description. Make sure you support these fellows. They do amazing work over there. We got your co-host, Mr. Candid Camper. Now, it's not your first time on the channel, Mr. Candid Camper, but it's a pleasure having you back. If you could let everybody know where they can find you on social media, Twitter, all that good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Always happy to be back, and I appreciate you guys getting me back on here. Yeah, you can find me at the Candid Camper on Twitter or X, and then the Candid Camper at YouTube.com, and then also you can find us the Bad Thoughts podcast on Spotify now.
Awesome. Welcome aboard. And over here we got Citrus George, Mr. Balls to the Wall. Welcome back, sir. If you can let everybody at home know where they can find you on social media, sir.
Absolutely. You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could also find me on the podcast, A Walk with Walt. And, of course, you'll find me here on my home base at Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner, with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info.
Absolutely. We also have another guest. All right, welcome aboard, Chewy. Okay, so let's dive into our first topic at hand, which is Disneyland. Now we do a lot of Disneyland stuff here on the channel. Majority of it is Disneyland. But Tonez, you've only been a couple of times, and it's always been like during that Halloween time of the year, right?
Yeah.
So it's been, I think it was twice you said that you've been. So I really kind of want to pick your brain as to like your thoughts in regards to like kind of just being new to Disneyland. Like what were your expectations going into it versus like the reality? Just your overall musings and thoughts about everything going on here.
So I do want to say I only went to Disneyland as an adult because so much growing up we had baseball tournaments and stuff like that, camping, and that was year round. So we really didn't have much time to go to something like Disneyland. So, but when I went as an adult and Candid Camper was my tour guide, I think it was kind of a cheat code because he knew so much about Disneyland and all the good rides and the perfect time to go. Like we were up like an hour before the park opened and we were in line, and it was fun. Like as an adult, I didn't think going in I was going to have a good time as an adult, but oh my God, was I just completely wrong. The rides were fun. Of course, the company was fun, and just all the information that was being fed to me by Candid Camper, and it put more into perspective for me, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's cool because I'm glad you brought that up, Tonez, because it's like that is a misconception I think a lot of people have, right? Like, oh, Disneyland is for kids, right? But really, it's not. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there that like for adults. I mean, you can kind of dig into the nightlife over at downtown Disney. You can have a few drinks, kind of chill. Yep. There's a lot to do for adults there, and the rides too. Exactly. Now, did you hit up the Indiana Jones Adventure? Because that's a crazy experience.
Indiana Jones, you said?
Yeah.
It was a funny story. I loved it. It was great. My phone actually fell out of my pocket on Indiana Jones the second time I went, and I thought it was gone. I thought I lost it, and one of our friends that was sitting next to me, she stopped it with her foot and stood on it the whole ride. It didn't move an inch. Other than that, ride was so fun. I enjoyed everything that came with it. Just like the movie, it was crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy experience, you know. And I bring that ride up because, like, that's the ride I always like to ask people who are new to Disneyland. Like, what do you think about that ride in particular? Because it's such a unique experience. You really can't find that anywhere. You know, you go to these places and you can find a roller coaster anywhere in the country or around the world. But a thing like Indiana Jones and those Jeeps, man, that's just
And the best part about it was the walk to the ride, all the stuff that was there in the front. I actually heard, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was supposed to be a sensor pad where like people can step on, but they took it out because of like safety precautions. It was like a what are those called? The ones you step on and like it blows up.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like various like tiles on the ground. If you step on one,
pressure plates.
Pressure plates. Supposedly there was a pressure plate supposed to be on the way there, and if you would step on it, it would like make a sound and stuff like that. Did you guys hear about that at all?
I haven't heard about that, but it makes sense though, because a lot of the queue does have like that kind of interactive stuff. Like when you go in that one little hallway, there's like that bamboo pole. When you pull it,
the one he pulled it too. Oh,
there's some parts of the path too where there is triangles on the floor that look like we were able to step on them and do something. Probably shot air or something out of the wall.
Yeah. That's so dope.
And it's around that room with the ceiling coming down. So I think you're right, Tones. I mean, that probably was in the like they were probably thinking about doing something like that, and maybe the budget wasn't there for it, and they scrapped it, or maybe they couldn't get it to work. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty.
And another thing that I love of what Disneyland does, opposite that Walt Disney World does, is rather than just having these attractions, okay, let's like here's this attraction, here's that attraction side by side, and you're just walking to it. They like to interconnect these attractions aesthetically, you know, in through the queues. So Indiana Jones is also part of the Jungle Cruise, and the Jungle Cruise is also part of Indiana Jones in that sense, where it all meshes well in the land. And then you also have Frontierland, where it intertwines into for Galaxy's Edge, so it kind of it all fits well. Where with Walt Disney World, you'd think, oh, the blessing of size, they can get creative. Do you think they'd do it? No.
Yeah. No, they definitely take more care out here for Disneyland, at least, you know, to kind of make sure that it's perfect. I think because it's like the original, and the Imagineers have more, I think, a sentimental kind of attachment to that park because of that. So they just take that extra step, you know, compared to Walt Disney World. Now, before the show, Tones, you were telling us there was a funny story. I guess when you went to Disneyland for the first time, or Disneyland Resort for the first time, I guess you were with this guy right here, Candid Camper. And he got you on one ride in particular. He didn't tell you what it was. You want to go ahead and tell us that story?
Yeah. So we had just gotten off another ride, and he took me to a Galaxy. What was it called again?
Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge. Excuse me. And I had no idea what it was. It was just a big tower, and
I'm sorry, not Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Gotcha. So we get in there, and his dad goes, "Hey, you know what ride this is, right?" And I'm like, and then all of a sudden I see Candid Camper tap him. He's like, "Don't tell him." So I get on there. He's right next to me, and I was like, "What's about to happen, bro?" And then all of a sudden we get lifted up. And then we get dropped, and I was like, "You fucker!" I was so mad, bro. And I don't know if he remembers this, but instead of grabbing my leg, because there was the handles and then my leg, I grabbed his fucking leg, thinking it was mine. I squeezed as hard as I can. It was probably the worst ride. Before the show, I was telling you guys that I wasn't a big roller coaster guy, and that was, I want to say, like the third or fourth one I went on. So I was kind of getting used to everything, and that didn't go on that one again.
I think you did good that whole trip, man. You went on pretty much everything, and you tried everything. That's all I ask it. You know, anybody, even my kids, like, try everything first. If you don't like it after, we don't have to ride it again, man.
Yeah. And that's funny because actually OG and I were having that conversation because I got him on another Guardians of the Galaxy ride over in Florida, but it was Cosmic Rewind, and that didn't not to his liking, but I mean, I am glad that he was able to experience it so he could have an opinion on it, but no, not his cup of tea.
It wasn't my cup of tea. It's Tones. It's basically like it's a roller coaster. It's kind of like Space Mountain, kind of. It's in the dark, but the ride vehicles they can turn them and it's not like just like on a swivel. It's like it's designed to turn certain points of the attraction and what have you. But the thing is, when you're going that fast and they turn the G forces hit you in this weird way.
Oh, okay,
and it's a really, for me, because you didn't know where they were going to turn you, so it just hits you
kind of like a
weird.
ragdoll effect.
Yeah, I think it's cool. It's not. So I've been on multiple roller coasters, and I tell you, man, that's the only thing I've ever been on that was like that. That ride's crazy.
I felt like I needed to smoke a cigarette after that thing. I didn't smoke. It was wild. Now, Tones, the mission breakout thing is intense, man. Like that, it doesn't stop. The whole time you're just up and down. And then there's a lot of times where I don't even know if I'm going up or down because you're in this dark shaft and it's like, it's so crazy. You're just up like in the air, like off your seat.
That was the worst part for me. As soon as my big ass left the seat, I didn't know what was going to happen. I felt like I was going to be floating there or I was going to fucking fall to I don't know. A lot of shit went through my head, but when my ass left the seat, I was fucking pissed. I was pissed. It was don't get me wrong. It was fun though. It was a fun kind of experience. Just something I wouldn't want to experience again. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Well, they just give you that flimsy ass seatbelt too, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
It's like, oh my god, are you serious? This little thing is gonna hold me in here? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So now, what was the standout for you, Tones? Like, what was your favorite attraction? That you loved when you were down there?
Attraction, I'll have to say Star Wars, the new one. I forgot what that one's called.
Oh, Rise of the
Resistance.
Yes, that one was amazing. I'm a big Star Wars guy. And that, even though it wasn't like, up and down kind of ride, it was a visual that I will never forget. Just you actually look like you're in the fucking, like you're actually there, which is amazing to me. That ride in particular was my favorite, but as far as the roller coaster, the Incredicoaster was something that I didn't think I was going to like because I wasn't into roller coasters. But as soon as I got on there, it was an adrenaline rush. It was fun. It was just the sights being up there. It was so fun. I loved it.
That's great, man.
Disney does such a great job at making everybody their first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just there's multiple ways to be someone's first, and Disney pretty much gets you in every single way.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, that Rise of the Resistance is a crazy experience because it's not like a typical attraction where it's like a typical attraction is you wait in line and then you board a vehicle and the ride starts. With Rise of the Resistance, it's like a series of experiences that make one big experience. So you board the transport ship, which takes you to the base, and then when you get to the base, then you get into the vehicle, and then the vehicle, and so it's like all these little experiences that make up this bigger experience. It's pretty crazy. Exactly, it's pretty awesome. Now, do you get to go on Smuggler's Run, the Millennium Falcon one as well, Tones?
Yeah, that was cool. It wasn't something that like blew my mind. It was okay though. I didn't mind it. It was cool to be shooting shit and driving. The second time I went on there, I was driving it, but it was cool.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Now, because you said you're a big Star Wars guy, are you like a sequel trilogy fan? You original trilogy, prequel fan, all of the above?
I personally liked all of it. I didn't really get into Star Wars like right away. Once the newer movies that came out, I really enjoyed it. And then I got to rewatch everything, all the older ones, kind of like in order. And I wasn't a fan of like the ones that came out. What was the one that came out like 3 years ago or 4 years ago?
Oh, the Solo, the Han Solo movie, the young Han Solo movie.
No, it was with
Rogue
One. Rogue One. I thought that one was awful. Like that one was probably the worst Star Wars I've watched. I did like the Mandalorian shows and stuff like that, but I like all of it. I really enjoy all of it.
Yeah, I'm kind of like with you, man. I like. There's elements of all these eras that I'm into. Each one of them has their pros and their flaws and what have you. But for the most part, it's fucking Star Wars. I mean,
exactly.
How could you hate it, right? It's like
the only thing, I still love Star Wars, but just recently, it's like the products that are coming out. It's almost like where you're in bed with a beautiful woman and you just want more, and then by the time it hits the ending, you're just stuck with a fucking boner coming out of your boxer shorts. It's like I want to see like that final shabam, and it's like for Star Wars, I just
It just gives you a case of the blue balls, huh?
That's the thing, though. Do we need more?
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
I'm not a Star Wars fan, so yeah, there's my balls to the wall moment. I think I've said that multiple times on here. I'm the opposite. I like the Indiana Jones part of that, the real saga.
Nice.
But even with that has some crap, most of it. But yeah, I don't know. Star Wars is cool. I enjoy it. I enjoy going to the park. I enjoy seeing Star Wars. But for someone like me that doesn't keep up with everything, and going to Galaxy's Edge and not seeing any of those legacy characters, it really throws me off. And I think that drops the ball for. No, I think Disney really dropped the ball there.
So are you just an original Star Wars? Like, just give you like episode 4, 5, and 6, and you're good, and like that's the perfect.
I'm okay
trilogy.
with that. And even with that, like I'll watch it, but it's not my go-to. Like I'm not gonna say that's in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I respect what it did for the time. Just because that was huge innovation for everything, especially with THX. I'm really huge on audio, so I think that was just amazing what they all did during that time. But besides that, I don't know. I just want to see Jam Chewie, man. I want to see some lightsabers, and I want to see
Chewie. OG got
I don't
covered.
I don't know what any of this shit's called. I just want to see people shoot things and lasers. Like that's what I enjoy. Don't make it complicated.
I got Chewie right here for you, Kenny. Yo, buddy.
Hello time.
Yeah, exactly. So Tones, like anything crazy happened on these 2 trips that you went to Disneyland? Any kind of crazy stories you want to share with us? Like anything that was like, oh my god, I gotta tell these guys. Like anything funny or?
I got one.
Go for it.
Was that the trip with the where my brother brought the
pickles? Oh
yeah.
my god! Go ahead. You can tell
pickles.
This one. Go ahead.
So my brother brought this big old thing of pickles, and we're just standing in line. I think it was Haunted Mansion.
Yeah,
oh, man, and it was hot as shit. And you know the part. I'm gonna tell you, standing in line in the Haunted Mansion on the back side where there's no fucking shade, and you're just in the switchbacks, and it's just death, literally. And he said, "Hey, dude, you want some pickles?"
it was just random. It was
like,
so
sure,
random.
man. Fucking
and he doesn't pull out a jar. He pulls out a fucking sandwich bag. And it has the juices still in it. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
So I would be like, fuck it. I don't have anything else to do.
I have to say, coming in here, like I'm thinking, okay, we could literally talk about anything. Like this could just go anywhere. And if someone were to tell me that a conversation would have came up with you guys standing in line in the Haunted Mansion and a bag of fucking pickles gets pulled out, I would have lost that bet.
They weren't just any other pickles. They weren't
pickles.
just. They were pickles. Moonshine pickles.
Moonshine pickles. So they end up being moonshine pickles after we're eating them. So we end up eating a shitload of moonshine pickles the whole time, and that was a.
And then it goes and spills
crazy.
in his backpack.
Yeah,
and then it spilled in his backpack
like moonshine.
Oh my god. That's such a random thing to bring with you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's like make sure you have your water bottle, make sure you have your tennis shoes, make sure you have your Mickey ears, and make sure you have your moonshine pickles.
Yeah, exactly.
Your sack of pickles.
Man.
Oh, that's hilarious, dude. That is freaking hilarious. Oh my god. Yeah.
I don't remember anything else from that vacation.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy. It was just random. If you met his brother though, you would know.
Yeah, we had good tacos. We had some margaritas.
Nice.
Over California Adventure. I think that was when Coco was kind of doing his thing out there where they're dancing. So we watched some shows. That was a good trip, man. Had a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Hey,
it was smooth too.
I want to ask you guys, what is your guys' favorite food there and the worst food there?
Oh, if you had to interesting. Pick. George, go ahead. You kick it off, brother. Favorite and worst food. I think I know your worst food.
Well,
it could be anywhere.
Oh, okay. As far
on the park.
Okay, as far as worst food goes, that I could think of, it's not exactly. It's more like of a specialty, and it's more of a drink, and it's at Avengers Campus. It's this fucking peanut butter and jelly boba ball milkshake or something. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever had.
It's like a colon cleanse, dude.
Yeah, it really.
That's nasty.
It is like
Oh,
so
hell
disgusting. It was like one. I couldn't even finish it. Like I was like 2 seconds from going up and saying, "I'm so very sorry, but could I have like a substitute
Anything else?
replacement?" Yeah, anything, because this thing is fucking nasty.
That's crazy.
But it was great. Yeah, I don't like. As far as the and also the beer cheese at Avengers Campus. That's like a hit or miss. Like it either like it can be okay. Like you could have it with the gigantic pretzel, or I mean, if you get it like really bad, especially in the California heat, that shit is rancid because it can come off real gelatinous.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's just
It's horrible. And what's your favorite?
as far as favorite,
Your go-to food.
my go-to favorite actually is any appetizer, which I can't believe because they got rid of the fucking bao buns. But
What?
as at the Lamplight Lounge, any of the appetizers like the lobster nachos, the potato skins are really good. But those bao buns, it was pork bao buns. They had a little kick to them. I don't know why. Our buddy Theme Park Casual was there the other night. He went with his son, and we got him into the bao buns. And he took a picture of the menu. And
Wait, you're saying casual is in the buns? What's going on here, dude? That doesn't sound right, dude.
we got him into.
No judgment, but yeah.
Yeah, no judgment, but come on,
Yeah, it's like
TMI.
But they got
That's
rid of
crazy,
the bao buns, and it was like that was like one of my favorite appetizers. But anything honestly in the Lamplight Lounge menu, I mean,
Yeah.
it's hell to get a reservation there. You could also try to get like a walk up if you're lucky. Especially if you're sitting at the bar, you could pretty much get a walk up with that. But yeah, anything on the menu with from Lamplight Lounge is
Okay.
pretty good.
So my worst food there is just, and this is, I hate this thing for two reasons. The turkey legs, okay,
Yes.
and I can't stand the turkey legs. The one reason I don't like it is years ago, I'm talking like 10 years ago maybe or so, I got pretty tipsy over at DCA, and I had one of those because when you drink, you get hungry, and I just like, oh fuck it, I'll just have one of these, and I just got real sick because I had the drinks and then I had that. So now every time I see one of those, I associate it with feeling like nauseous and sick to my stomach. So that's a big element of it. But aside from that, they're just kind of gamey and gross. I just can't do those things, you know. And in terms of my favorite, you know, I gotta say, actually, it's a new favorite. Actually, George, when we went to Boogie Bash, the spicy mac and cheese cone.
The spicy mac and cheese cone.
Yeah, this thing is like, dude, chef's kiss, baby. Okay, so
Spicy
what
mac
it
and
is,
cheese.
it's like a bread cone, right? Like basically like an ice cream cone, but it's all bread, right?
Okay.
And they pack it with like mac and cheese, and then they take like what I think it's like spicy hot Cheetos, and they crush them, and that's like the topping.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, it's the business. It is so good. You can get that
That
at
sounds really
Carveland.
good.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
it's
the mac and
amazing.
cheese is not like that stale Kraft mac and cheese that you get in a box. I mean, like this is like legit mac and cheese, like creamy real mac
Homemade,
and
yeah.
cheese. Yeah, that's. Oh, and by the way, Lamplight Lounge is also located in Disney California Adventure, right off of Pixar Pier. And also another great place for good food is Trader Sam's over at the Disneyland Hotel.
Trader Sam's. Okay.
They have really good food. Yeah.
Now, Trader Samstone's, I think you would really dig that. Did you check that out last time you guys went, or did you guys go in there?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I didn't. The only place we ate were, like the kiosks where they had food. But there's a restaurant we went to. It was a Mexican restaurant, and sorry, I can't remember the name, but it was a Mexican restaurant by like where all the stores are and all the restaurants. I forgot what it's called, but the place was amazing. But I'm not sure if I've been to that one.
It's pretty dope. It's themed kind of like to the Tiki Room. So you go in there, it's really like Tiki Polynesian, but it's mostly a bar, but they do serve food as well, which the food is good there too. But you go in there and you'll order, like if you order certain drinks, the environment in the bar will kind of react to the drink ordered. So you order this
Oh,
one
wow.
drink. Yeah, and the windows will like all of a sudden you look outside and it's all dark and there'll be like a volcano erupting and they get everyone in the bar like kind of like to interact with it, right? And so it's pretty cool. Like it's a really fun experience. And when you're drunk and all these things are going on, and the bartenders are like tending to go like ooga chaka, ooga chaka, ooga chaka, it just gets you hyped, man. It's just a hype machine.
Are you are you a drinker? Do you like alcohol or?
Yeah. I mean, I shouldn't say I'm a drinker. I'm a casual drinker. Like if everyone's having a good time, and I've never been the type to get drunk. Just never had fun doing it. But when I'm with friends and having fun and stuff, I'll for sure have a drink if everyone's drinking.
Yeah, because they got some specialty drinks at Trader Sam's, and they're very heavily themed. You know, and as OG was saying, it like they kind of pander to depending on what you get. I usually get a Schweitzer Falls, either mixed with you could either do like vodka or tequila, and it's they actually hide it, so it's like you could have like 4 of them, and you'd be completely fine. Then you stand up. Then you stand up from the table and you're like, oh, there it is.
It hits you. Yeah, that's crazy.
It sneaks up on you. It sneaks up on you. Now, Candid Camper, I'm actually talking to him right now. I guess. He's having some trouble with his internet, so yeah, he's gonna try to get back on. But I just want to let you guys know that that's kind of what happened with him. So, but yeah, I mean the food is like honestly like in terms of food, I think that I think DCA California Adventure is much stronger in that department. You know, compared to Disneyland, you know, you get a lot more variety out there in California Adventure. You can kind of do like they have a lot more like Mexican food, Mediterranean food. You can do like Asian food. Various things, and it's just better quality, in my opinion. That Lamplight Lounge place that George was talking about, I mean, it's like you can't go wrong. You can literally close your eyes and just pick something, and it'll be great.
It's amazing. You know, it's funny. The best thing I actually had in Disneyland was it was a cream cheese filled cinnamon pretzel. I don't know if you guys had that. It was a cream.
I think I did have that actually a few months ago. It was like kind of like purple and silver, the one I got for the anniversary, but it had that like stuff in the middle, I believe.
Yeah, it was a pretzel filled with cream cheese and cinnamon, and it was the best fucking pretzel I've ever had in my life. It was so fucking good, and they gave you like a not a frosting, but it was like a cream that came with it, like a dipping sauce.
Yeah,
it was.
You know, that only came with yours, right?
I know, right?
It's not on the menu, sir.
Fuck.
Oh no.
Fuck. He was looking at me funny too, bro. Nah, but it was.
What they call that, Disney magic?
If it was Disney magic, I was fucking hit with the wand in the head, dude, because that shit was fire.
Literally.
That shit was so good, bro.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing, dude. No, yeah, I mean, some of the food there like really hits, and some is not so good. I don't know, Ken. I think you might have got disconnected, but like we were talking about like Trader Sam's and stuff, and like the food over there, the drinks. You've been over there, right?
I got a Trader Sam's story.
I don't know.
Do it, man.
So number one, my life sucks because I'm gluten free, so I can only eat so many things. But Disney is super accommodating with gluten free stuff, so I never really have an issue. So I told my wife, like, hey, let's go to Trader Sam's. And I'm like, you know, that cool guy in school, just know everybody, know everything. So I thought the same thing when I was at Disney, right? And I'm like, oh, we're going to go this way and walk around so we can beat the crowd. And man, I went all the way around that 7-Eleven, all the way on the outside, like the convention center, all the way down the outside, all the way to the back. It took us like an hour to get there. And then I get to the place and the fucking burger and everything has like wheat in it. Everything had wheat. There's nothing that was gluten-free there. So I told her, I'm like, you know what? You go ahead and eat, and I'll just sit here and watch the people at the fucking like.
I'll just sit here and watch.
Like I was just pissed, man. And tiki shit is up my alley. Like I love tiki. Anything you give me tiki or like Adventureland, like I'm all in. By the way, I didn't get to tell you my favorite food. My favorite food there at the park is going to be probably the turkey leg, man. I don't know. I know,
okay.
Right?
Dude,
everyone, people.
That was my worst too, bro. I did not like it.
I love the turkey legs. I will
It's
not
gluten
be
free,
without
bro.
turkey
You're
leg.
good.
right? Pretty much. I will not leave without it. The worst thing I had though was the wheatless. It was like a wheatless fucking cake, and I actually went back, George, and I told him, and I said,
Did you tell him?
Yeah, I said, "What is this, man?" And he's like, "You know."
I'm with you, Camper. I actually enjoy the turkey leg. Now, I will say, and I got a little story. I was at Magic Kingdom this past May, my little spontaneous trip that I didn't even know I was going to get to go to Walt Disney World, and I had my turkey leg, and I thought, well, to drink, I'll have a blue Powerade. Well, let me tell you, do not eat a Disney turkey leg and a Powerade. No.
What?
Oh no!
It does not mix well.
Really?
It does not mix well.
Oh,
I will.
no.
Let me put it to you this way: that if you were in Adventureland, there would be another reason to call it the backside of water.
Oh, jeez,
dude.
man, that's horrible, dude.
Yeah. See, when I go to the theme park, it's hard for me to order like just a basic ass drink. Like I have to get some specialty drink. That's how they like suck you in. And
Yeah.
those, if they have anything that's violet, what do they call like violet lemonades or anything with that purple shit in it, I'm fucking getting it. They're so good. That's probably on my top list.
Now, have you had a oh fuck, what is it called? From Pandora.
Yes.
The
Pongu Pongu.
The Night Blossom.
Yes, that's it. Night Blossom.
okay.
Yeah. So I didn't have the one with the alcohol in it, but I had the other one just because I don't know, something about being in Animal Kingdom and drinking and just you're gonna slow down way too much. That part, man, that place is confusing as fuck too.
It is, right?
Yeah.
When I was there, I never got used to the layout. I was constantly asking
weird.
George, "Where are we?"
Yeah, and it's one of those where you literally kind of turn around, and you're like, "Fuck, man!" And then you find a bathroom, and the bathroom's in weird ass spots. Like, what the fuck? The gorillas there are badass. So that's probably my favorite thing there.
Yeah,
It's fucking cool.
That park is insane, dude. I walk into that park, it just hits you. It like just with like the all the trees and everything. It's just so different than any other theme park I've ever been in.
Yeah,
And the day that we were there, which is probably a regular day in Florida, was super humid. So the humidity kind of added to the theming and stuff, man. Like you felt like you were really somewhere like exotic.
Yeah, like our glasses were all fogged up. We couldn't see where the fuck we were walking. We had to keep on wiping them off.
Fuck.
It was fantastic.
Get the wipers put on your glasses. And I wanted to ask you guys another question.
Yeah.
If a company can make their own theme park and be as successful as Disneyland and have the kind of space like Disneyland has, what company do you think that would be?
Whoever buys Fox next.
Okay, so
And kind of have that, that theme, like the, with the movies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's actually a good question. I mean, Brian Roberts could probably answer that one, but it's
Brian Roberts, Comcast. Yeah. No, I actually think Warner Brothers. I think Warner Brothers is the company.
I agree.
I think that they have a really solid library. I think probably second to Disney. You have the Looney Tunes, which they've completely underutilized them, but I think there's potential there with those characters.
Mm-hmm.
You have Animaniacs, Tiny Toons. They have all the DC stuff, right? I mean, superhero stuff, all the Harry Potter stuff. And I understand there's logistics here because a lot of these rights are tied up with other companies like Universal and things like that. But in an ideal world, I think Warner Brothers would really give Disney a run for their money. I think there's a lot there you can do. Can you imagine like it's a really dope like Gotham City that you can walk through?
I was thinking that.
Isn't that New York?
I know, right? There's just so much potential with that, and it's
Well, and OG, you and I were having a conversation a long time ago about how we both love the Disney store, but man, when they had the Warner Brothers store out at the malls, it's like, oh my god, they knew how to crush it. So I could imagine with the theming, if they did it right, of how because for a short period of time, Six Flags kind of had the Batman and the Looney Tunes franchise for a short period of time.
I think
we had a
still
Six
do.
Flags over because is it still over there? Because I know the one that was over on my side. I think it was in Ohio. They actually I don't know. I thought they said something that they didn't have the right. They lost the rights to that. So the Six Flags actually got rid of the Looney Tunes and the Batman, and it just became
Really?
just yeah. Like I don't know what happened, but then the Six Flags went out altogether, and it became another amusement park.
Yeah, it's the one near us has down in where is it? In where's it at, Tony? The Six Flags Marine World, or not
It's
Marine World,
in,
Discovery Kingdom, Vallejo.
Vallejo, there you go.
Yeah, that one still hasn't been. They renamed, like, all the rides are named the same shit. Like Batman's Beyond, and then the next one over is like Beyond Batman. They're literally all the same fucking
Yeah.
names. But it's a cool little area. I grew up around there and going there as a kid, and that was like the only park that had animals besides I think Great Adventure. Like this park has animals in the back and has rides in the front. And yeah, I don't know. Once they got the DC stuff in there, they started kind of just putting a shitload of roller coasters in. And then they still have Looney Tunes. It's like the kids area, though.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think, George? I mean, what company could match the Mouse House? In an ideal world.
I do agree with you. I think Warner Brothers would actually be a top contender just because of like with their IPs and everything. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there would be anything else.
Now, do you guys think that because they're tied up with other companies, they haven't done something like Disneyland for Warner Brothers?
They have.
I think so.
Warner Brothers has a few parks, I think, overseas, but I don't know how well they do.
Yeah, they got like one in like Dubai, I think, or something, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like for any domestic park, it's hard because like there are big properties like Harry Potter. They Universal has the theme park rights to that, so it's all tied up into Universal, and it's already established there. The DC stuff is like kind of tied up in Six Flags, which is another big property for them, and the Looney Tunes as well.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know too much about it, but isn't Paramount kind of tied to like with Kings Island and Kings Dominion?
That's yes. What's the name of that company?
Cedar Fair, I think.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Cedar Fair. Yeah, so they have them like not Pluto, Snoopy, and a couple others.
That's interesting. Yeah. What do you think, Candid? Any
Star
company?
Trek. I was gonna go Warner Brothers too. It's all like every time in my head I'm like, I don't care about Warner's. I just want Scooby Doo. You can give me Scooby Doo anywhere, and I'll be happy. That's my childhood. But yeah, no, I say Warner Brothers also. And growing up too, we had Great America, Six Flags, not Six Flags. Paramount's Great America, and,
Great America,
and they had all those Hanna-Barbera shows, so they had all that there when I was growing up. So anything with that would be a nice franchise too. You just got to remember too, a lot of these adults, they're the only ones that are gonna know who these people are, who these characters are too. So that's why Disney kind of wins that, every time.
Yeah. A lot of these franchises, a lot of kids nowadays don't know what it is, right? Like,
and I used to love those. I used to love those old Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Like, I'm an old soul, because I could talk to people my age, and they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, you got like obviously the Flintstones, the Jetsons, Droopy Dog, Scooby Doo, and then I bring up like Yogi Bear, Trick Draw McGraw, Huckleberry Hound, and they're like, "Who the fuck are you talking about?"
I know. They have no idea. It's sad though, right? It's sad when I see stuff like that, and the kids nowadays don't know about those. I'm like, that's sad.
Oh, I try as a parent. Like that's and it's cool. That's the best part about being a parent is that I get to actually buy and influence the way I want to buy and influence. So they like Scooby Doo because I like Scooby Doo, and guess what? I put on Sunday morning or Saturday morning cartoons. It's Scooby Doo. It's Cartoon Network, and that's what we get to watch. But I will say I'm falling into the trap of Bluey.
Oh,
I don't know if y'all
man.
watch Bluey, but holy shit! If you can,
That's a movement, dude. That's a movement.
If they throw Bluey into the park, fuck, that's a wrap.
That's funny.
So now, question to you guys: what's the chances of them doing that? So I don't know. I don't think they have the rights for Bluey. They just have the streaming rights, I believe.
It's interesting. Yeah, they have like, it's not a Disney owned property, right? Like, so they're like, it's like a licensed thing. It's like I don't even know. It's like and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Those watching, I think it's like an Australian company or like something like that.
It's Australian, yeah.
It's Australian, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's not a Disney thing, but they have a relationship. So, I mean, it's possible. It's possible that Disney says, hey, you know what? We've had a successful run together on Disney Plus. Why don't we take this to the theme parks?
Where would you put it?
Oh, that's good. That's good. I would say, well, in Anaheim, I would say DCA. I would do like maybe like a cute little bluey dark ride in like Hollywoodland or something. I think that would fit perfectly.
See, and I was going to say at Walt Disney World, I would say Disney Hollywood Studios, because then you can kind of intertwine it with like the Disney Junior
The meet and greet area.
Yeah.
That would crush, man. I mean,
Yeah, it would.
Bluey is so big right now.
Yeah, I've seen it going for years, for sure.
It was like beating the Mandalorian season 3 in some weeks. Like it was just out of control. Like the numbers over there is like crazy for this cartoon, you know?
Have you actually watched it?
No, I never have. No.
Yeah.
Is it pretty good?
Do it, yeah. Yeah, you got to do it. Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, you'll sit there and like, all right, I got to turn it off. Shit, okay, one more to start. And you're like, oh, shit, okay. Well, another one, cool. And then you finish the season, you're like, fuck, now I got to go to bed.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
It's good.
All right.
I'll
That's
admit
interesting. That's interesting. Well, that actually brings us actually kind of perfect segue, actually, Candid, to our next topic, which is actually going to be like our favorite non-Disney TV shows and movies, right? I kind of want to dip into this because I think it's kind of interesting. So I'll start with you, Tones. What, like outside of like Disney stuff, right? Which would include like Marvel, Star Wars, all that. Like, what are some of your favorite? I guess we'll start with TV first, and then we'll dip into movies. What are some of your favorite non-Disney TV shows?
So you can tell by the hat, I'm a huge Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon fan. I love the show. I do most of my TikTok content is just going over reviews of House of the Dragon and Game. That's how I mostly got my following, was from that show. I would just ask questions and talk about the show, put my reactions on, and I genuinely loved the community that was coming to me just by watching the show, which made me fall in love with the show even more. So Game of Thrones is like my ultimate favorite show of all time.
Oh, that's awesome. And House of Dragon was a banger, dude. I'm really looking forward to season 2. That was so good.
Yeah, it sucks because fucking Twitter is the root of all evil, because nothing but spoilers come up on Twitter, and I can't control it. So I've been trying to stay on Twitter, stay off of Twitter, but nothing but spoilers just keep coming up, and it sucks. But yeah, I can't wait either. They just finished filming. Nice.
And see, I was worried too with House of Dragon, because I think it was like the first 2 episodes, and I'm so bad with these names. So the 2 main characters, the blonde, that's kind of how the blonde and the other girl, the young version of them, right?
Yeah, Rhaenyra and Alicent. Those are their
names.
There
you go. Rhaenyra and Alicent.
Remember their names? Come on, man.
I do.
Marrying them?
I wish. I'd be fire.
You know what I'm saying? No, but it was like, okay, so those 2 girls, those 2 young ladies, they did a great job as the young versions of those characters, right? So when I heard there was going to be like a time jump and they were going to recast, I was like, oh man, that's risky, because these 2 young ladies are absolutely crushing it. Well, they did the time jump, and the 2 ladies that replaced them were just as good. I mean,
they killed it. Yep.
Amazing.
And I didn't think I had the same mindset as you, OG. I thought it was going to kill the show because of the time jump and the recasting and all that stuff. But I can't name one character that was in the shows or in the first couple shows that they time jumped and was bad. Like, they all did really well with the recasting. And not just that, they actually look like if they were the older version of them, they actually look like that. So it was crazy.
It was incredible, man. Absolutely incredible. And this is the one thing I think that like a lot of these other companies like HBO Max and like Netflix and what have you, they kind of have like an advantage over Disney Plus. Like with Disney Plus, when you watch a show like Ahsoka or some of these Disney Plus shows, they're good, right? Mm-hmm. But it's kind of hit and miss though, like with the seasons. Like there's an episode they're like really good, and maybe the next one, it's kind of hit and miss. With a lot of these other shows, like House of Dragon, did not have a bad episode. Each one was a total banger, and it just built and built and built and built and built to the very end. Yep. And it's just a lot of these other companies are able to do that. Netflix does that very well too. There was a show on Netflix recently, Queen Charlotte, which I didn't think I would like. I'm not into like that kind of stuff. I watched it. It was actually really good. It was kind of like that, where it was like each episode was just like addicting and you couldn't put it down. And I never feel that way with the Disney Plus stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think I have either, now that I think about it. Disney
Me neither,
Plus.
yeah, not Bluey or anything.
No. and I was into the Mandalorian and Loki and all that, but each episode doesn't leave me with, fuck, I need to watch the next episode. You know, it's just like, okay, I can wait till next week. You know what I'm saying? But Game of Thrones, it was the complete opposite. Like, you fucking asshole, I want to watch the next episode.
Oh, big time, man.
Yeah.
Oh, big time. I'm new to Game of Thrones, actually. We actually binge watched all 8 seasons like a year and a half ago. Like, so I didn't watch it when it was out.
Yeah.
I just binge watched for like 2 or 3 weeks. And I loved it. I liked it a lot. Now, for me, because I wasn't, people were like invested for years and years in that show. So when season 8 came, people were disappointed, right, with how it ended. Like, for me, because I think I was only invested for 2 or 3 weeks. When I was watching season 8, I was fine with it. Like, I don't know if it was because I didn't have like years behind me, but did you like season 8? Did it work for you, Tones, or was it kind of like?
I was actually talking to one of my followers about this. Season 8 wasn't bad visually, but storyline wise, it was the worst season in the history of TV. You spend 7 seasons of these legendary, like, historical buildups for these characters, and you end with, spoiler alert, one of them dies. Like, that character buildup to where she is taking over the rightful throne that was hers, and she dies. Like, she finally gets what she wants. It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And the whole, you know, the whole Jon Snow buildup all that buildup that he had was all for nothing because he has to go back to the wall and do it pretty much all over again. So these character buildups that we waited these 10 years for, or however, probably even longer than that, it all went down the drain with that last episode, and it killed if there's a spin-off to, you know, this Snow series, or if they continue Game of Thrones somehow, like, it did not make any sense. And that's what most of the fans are pissed off about, was these historical character buildups that just went down the drain.
And that makes sense. You invest years into something, and then, like you said, like, you get to that season 8 and it's like, oh fuck, you know. So that makes sense. George, what non-favorite Disney shows?
Okay, so for me, I kind of break them down into 3 different categories. So I have like my older shows that I used to watch before I was even born, and it's like, people think, how do you even know what these shows are?
How does that happen though?
Like, how does that? Yeah, it's like, yeah. So it's like, I'm a huge fan of the Golden Girls, the Jeffersons, Cheers, All in the Family. Like, it's like that generation, so I like to watch all those. And then I have when I was a child growing up into my teens, I used to watch. Now, folks, don't judge me. I used to watch Friends, Dawson's Creek. You know, I still like to go back, and I know it's weird. You know, it's just like one of those.
Hey,
it's a guilty pleasure.
No judging here, bro.
Now, like, and then up to current, I like a lot of shows like Station 19, Blue Bloods, NCIS, Law and Order.
Yeah,
Nice.
good.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a huge Breaking Bad guy. I love that show. That was just my jam for the longest time. I absolutely love Breaking Bad. And then I also liked, it actually just ended, The Blacklist. It was on NBC for a while. That was pretty dope. I like that one. Yeah, Raymond Reddington and all that. Well, what about you, Candid? Favorite non-Disney TV show?
TV show? Oh, man. So I guess it's kind of the same situation as what Tones was saying, is the Sopranos.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, one of my favorites. Always rewatchable to me. I watch it probably every couple months. I'll rewatch the whole thing. But it's that damn ending, man. Just them sitting in the, you know, sitting in the end at the shop and just eating, playing some Journey, and then that's it. Just cut scene. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, come on, you could have done better. But if not that, if I want something light, and, you know, I like to watch TV before I go to bed, and so I'll just throw something on. I usually throw on Psych. I think that's just super easy to watch, super funny, and pretty easy.
Well, if you want to have a better ending for The Sopranos, just come on over to my house. We'll have a nice ending for you.
Does that consist of a happy ending?
There you go.
Because I'm there. Just send the address. I'll be there.
So that actually brings us to our next topic. Like perfect segues here, guys. Perfect segues. We'll talk about like, celebrity, like I guess celebrity crushes or like ideal women, right? And George, I'll start with you. What's your ideal woman, man? Like, you're recently single, you're mingling, hey, tell the audience here, like, what's your
single
style?
ready to mingle, love it or shove it, it's
Hey,
like
real quick, George.
Yep.
I heard there was a story that you have.
Oh, yes,
right.
there is. Yes.
Is that can that go part? Is this part of?
Yeah,
this?
yeah. I'll tell
Okay.
it. Yeah.
All right.
So my ideal woman. Well, as far as like a celebrity crush, I don't know if you fellas are familiar with Colby Callier. She's a singer.
Oh no, I don't.
No, okay. Well, she I don't even know really what kind of music she falls under because
Everybody's googling right now.
she's
you know that.
she's not like country or nothing, but it's like I was a huge fan of her back in 2009, and she still is like my number one to like listen to. Like her singing voice, honestly, like she could serenade me all she wants. Like she would melt my popsicle in a minute. Like just like the way her voice just kind of like carries. It's very soft. It's very, and actually, believe it or not, her one song "Worth It" actually kind of got me through during the beginning stage of my divorce, and it was just at the perfect timing. It was one of her new singles, but just her style. She is like a outdoorsy kind of country girl, but her music is like not country but not pop, just kind of like in the middle. But as far as like her look, her aesthetics, her personality, I don't know, that's the type of girl. And then also as far as an actress goes, okay, this is like two different ends of the spectrum here, but I was always a fan because I mentioned Friends. I was always a Jennifer Aniston.
Oh really?
Type of yeah.
I thought you were gonna go like Whoopi Goldberg or something.
Oh my God.
When you said different spectrums, I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
So
No, but that's a great pick. She's beautiful.
I think she's just. I mean, she is. But she's just like normal to me. Like I feel like I can find a whole bunch of her on the street.
However old she is, she's 60 looking that.
That is true. I'll give you that. Well, look, I mean, look at OG.
Oh, you could come. Well, yeah, well, you could come over here. You could see a 60-year-old. Trust me, Jennifer Aniston would stand out of some of these fuckers that are walking the streets.
That's great. That's great.
And then the other one would be Mila Kunis.
Oh, that's a good one, dude.
Yeah, because I mean,
I think she's Italian too, George. I think
she is.
She's Russian.
Ukraine.
Oh, okay.
Ukraine, I think. Yeah, before she, I think, moved to the United States, she actually learned English by watching television and watching movies. That's how she learned English. She didn't know any English whatsoever.
Wow.
So that actually, watching TV and then watching film, and that's what got her to want to act. From her learning English by watching television. So I'd say like a combination of between like a Mila Kunis, Jennifer Aniston, Colby Callier. But I will have to say though, OG kind of converted me a little bit with the Asian culture, because I have to say this, and to all the Asian population out there, don't take this the wrong way, but there is a huge difference between Eastern Asians and Western Asians.
You mean in terms of like East Coast or West Coast?
East Coast, West Coast. Yes, exactly. So the East Coast Asians, they're very like conservative. They're like bundled up from like head to toe. Like they just don't like, they mind their own business and everything. And that's what I thought all Asians were all over the place. And when OG said, I like Asian girls, it's usually, my thing. I'm like, hey, whatever floats your boat there, brother, if that's what you're into. It's like, and so then I come out into LA, and he
come to California.
I come to California, and I'm like, holy shit! It's like these are the Asians you're talking about. It's like I didn't even know that they own those kind of dress wear. It's like
it's great.
So
California would do that to you, bro.
Yeah.
California does that to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
Los Angeles.
Now, as far as my little story that kind of ties into
Yeah,
this.
this is good. This is good.
Okay.
Don't bring up any names though. I don't want to get don't get anyone in trouble,
Right. We'll call her Maria Sharita Tequila. So anyway,
okay, there you go. That works.
So she's Mexican. She's Mexican.
Oh.
Well, yeah. Okay, so
She was after he was done with her.
Yeah, no.
And Italian.
Oh, geez.
okay. So,
I love this.
Okay.
I love this.
Okay, so when I was telling you guys when I had my impromptu vacation down to Walt Disney World, I was leaving Disneyland, had no idea that I was going to go to Walt Disney World. I was supposed to head back home to Pennsylvania, and my flight got canceled in Denver. That was my layover. Well, no, so it got delayed and then canceled. They rerouted me on another flight and said, your connection flight, you will get a red eye in Orlando and fly back to Pennsylvania. So that initial flight in Denver was late. So by the time I got to Orlando, the red eye, the last flight out, left without me. I didn't even deboard off the plane yet. And they said, we'll get you a flight, but it'll be early tomorrow morning. I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm going to spend 5 days here in Orlando and go to Walt Disney World. I told them I'll make my own flight. I said, thank you. And so I booked a hotel on property. I already had my annual pass, made some reservations. Bada bing, bada boom. I was there for 5 days. And then I thought, I'll add another 3 more days while I'm there. So I was there for 8 days total. So while in the midst of being there, this was right as my divorce was going through, with the paperworks and everything. So, I mean, a guy like that, you're vulnerable. It's like, it's like you have something for 10 years and then all of a sudden it's cold turkey, and it's like, I don't think so.
You got your needs, bro. You got your
exactly.
needs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what I love to do is I usually take the walking path from Hollywood Studios to Epcot. That bypasses Swan and Dolphin, that goes into the boardwalk and the yacht and beach club resorts. So the boardwalk is one of my favorite hangout spots in Walt Disney World. Like, I just love to just sit there and just relax, people watch and whatever. Well, they have the boardwalk pizzeria that I love their pizza. So
Do you get pineapple on it, George, or no?
yeah.
Just curious.
No pineapple. Pineapple.
Good guy.
So I went up to pick up my pizza, and there was a cast member there that was giving out the pizzas, calling out the orders, and what have you. And so I was just being friendly, just talking, going back and forth. And she had recently gone through a breakup and what have you. And I said, oh, that's funny. I'm going through a divorce right now. So we have a lot in common. So we're just kind of going back and forth. And she says, if you don't mind me asking, when was the last time you... And that was it. She just stopped like that.
Damn,
like
forward.
Yeah,
it's really forward. Yeah,
and
especially
it's
when
like,
you're like a cast member, like because there's like that. That's wild, man.
Yeah.
Wait, so where is this again?
This is at the. so I said, well, it's been a couple months, and she went, wow. She said, for a guy, that's pretty long. And I said, well, since we're on the subject, how about you? It's like, and she said, oh, it's been over a year ever since I, broke up with my boy. I'm like, oh, wow. And it's like, oh, hashtag dry dock.
Is there a timetable for where like a fresh breakup, like you don't call it a fresh breakup anymore? Because a year sounds like a long
time.
Yeah, that seems like a
It sounds like just baiting, dude.
Yeah,
dude.
Well, it worked. Well, it worked. So it's like, so she handed me my pizza, and she said, "So are you staying on property?" I said, "Yeah, I'm staying at All Star Music." And she said, "Oh, okay." She said, "Well, I get off at 8." She said, "What's your room number? I can come by and keep you company if you're all by yourself. And I went, well, and automatically me being a guy is like, I knew what it was referring to, but I thought,
Right.
is she baiting me? Like, is this really, this is like, I mean, I've never had this at Walt Disney World before. So it's like,
Especially from a cast member, dude.
From a cast member, and it's like
Yeah.
to your lap.
Yeah.
Literally, like
literally and
Almost
figuratively.
sketchy. Like it would make me nervous.
It was, it did. And I thought, okay, this is like, okay. But for whatever, I was like, fuck it. It's like, I dodged, I'm going to get murdered at Walt Disney World. So it's like, how bad could it be? So it's like, so I gave her my room number and I went off through the day and then I went back to the hotel. So it was almost like 10 after 9. And I thought, okay, she said she's getting off at 8, but then I thought, okay,
Can I ask you a question real quick, George?
Yeah.
Did you still prep the room up and everything?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, just to be on the safe side, you never know.
Roses, the chocolate on the bed, he sprayed the fucking room.
So it's like
I know, right?
so it's like 10 after 9, and I thought, okay, she's not coming. It's like, okay. Then all of a sudden, I get this little tap on the door, and I thought, no. And I thought, and I opened the door, and lo and behold, there she was, in her regular attire and everything. I invited her in, and I didn't waste no time. I will say, like, she was like raring, ready to go.
Did you tell her to put her uniform back on? No. No. I was waiting for that, bro. I was waiting for something like that.
So after the night, she didn't fully stay over, but she stayed like later on in the early morning. So she left and went home, and then I went to bed. I woke up and I decided to give her a cast member compliment.
Oh God!
Oh, George, you are crazy, bro.
And I put it under the category for impeccable service.
There you go. Well, above and beyond, George. Above and beyond. Yeah, dude, that's funny. That is really, really funny. That's
Left
crazy.
a review. That is the funniest shit.
How was it?
That's what.
It was. Yeah, it was. I'd have to say that was a solid 9.
Wow.
Really.
Better than the pizza.
Definitely better than the pizza. Yeah.
Did you smell like pizza?
But I will say,
Oh, that's a good question.
that
I feel like it sinks into you after a while.
yeah, you would think no, she didn't. Like I don't know if she went, because obviously she's a local, so I don't know how far she lived from the resort. So I don't know if she went back to wherever she was and maybe freshened up herself, or
Yeah, probably.
But I will say though, you could definitely tell that she worked at a pizza joint, because I mean, she definitely knows how to handle pepperoni.
Hey.
That's great. That's great. Oh, geez, George. Okay, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. So, so I have two. My first one is actually Elizabeth Olsen. I don't know. I think she was like super fine in WandaVision, like especially the 70s Wanda, minus the baby bump, obviously. But I thought Elizabeth Olsen's fucking hot. I think she's hot. She's like a 10 to me, totally. So she's definitely like, for sure. And then there's also another person. I'll have to show you guys, because a lot of people aren't going to know who she is. But she's like a K-pop singer. Her name is Sana, I think is how you pronounce it. But she is like...
Camper.
It's cool, not trying to put a rush on you. I had to let you know that I got a crush on you.
I like that girl a lot, dude. So Sana and Elizabeth Olsen, man. And yeah, I think that's like... And, Margot Robbie, it gets a honorable mention as well. Because, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw Wolf of Wall Street, but my God.
A couple times.
Couple times. Yeah. So that's pretty much where I'm at. What about you, Tones? What do you?
So I like a little more meat on my women.
Okay.
Women I
You like a little more thickness.
Yeah. Scarlett Johansson's probably one of my favorite. She's always been beautiful in every movie And I like BB Rexa. BB Rexa is a new one of mine that I didn't really listen to her music, but she is curvy in all the right places. Like she is beautiful to me. And I like women that are, of course, curvy, but the personality puts a lot into perspective.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And, watching people as far as like celebrities, you kind of see their personalities come out, especially actresses and stuff. And I think that makes them 100 times sexier than just body. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as far as like actresses and artists, those two stick out to me. There's another, I don't know if you guys know who she is. Her name is Ruby Rose. She's I think she's like an IG model.
Sounds like a
singer.
porn star name.
Dude, she's beautiful. Look,
interesting.
I encourage you guys to look up Ruby Rose.
Ruby Rose. Okay, I'll check it out. So so that's what she does. She like models and stuff. That's like
I think she does music too. I don't listen to her music, but she does music and she's a model. Yeah, beautiful.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head though, Tones, with like the personality thing, because you could have a woman who's like a perfect 10 physically, but if they're like super stuck up or they got bad energy, it just completely kills it.
It's amazing how like you see that part and their looks go from like a 10 to like a 2 to you. Mm-hmm. It's mind boggling how that shit happens, but it happens.
It happens, yeah, and it can go the opposite way too. You get a girl who's like maybe not like totally physically your type, but man, the personality just clicks and they're fun to be around and it elevates them.
And I can't stand those girls that are stuck up, that they act like their shit don't stink. It's like yours smells just as much as anybody else's. So.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing with physical looks too. It's like there's always going to be someone who's better looking somewhere. Like good-looking people are really kind of a dime a dozen, in this world. You can go to your local mall out here in LA, and you could spot 20, 9s and 10s just walking around. It's not like that.
Starting to look the same though, man. I feel like everyone's starting to kind of like have the same look. It's really weird. They're all doing the same things to their faces.
Yeah.
You know what? I noticed that too, man. Are you talking about like that kind of like Kardashian, like the lip filler and all that stuff?
It's weird to me. It's strange.
Yeah,
but also come from a different time, man. Just when people were doing that our age or when we were growing up, they were the old white lady that went to the, what they call it. What's that place called?
Botox, like Botox.
Yeah, but not the Botox. Like the people that go to the tracks, like the racetrack lady. Like that's what I always think.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I don't understand that. Like, that's one of those things where like I see women that do that, right? Where they'll inject their lips with these fillers or whatever, and it never, in my opinion, this is my opinion, but in my opinion, it never looks good because it gives us like this artificial, like plasticky look to them. The only person that actually pulls it off, the only person I've ever seen actually pull that lip filler off is Kylie Jenner. I think she looks good in it, but very rarely. She's like a unicorn with it. You know what I'm saying? Like usually I'm like, oh man, why'd you do that? You would have been better off just leaving it the way it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. She also probably hires like fucking the highest the most experienced doctor to do it. And it's like chump changed her. So like most of these people have to go to, a facility to do this, do that. But these people, they go to her.
What I don't get is when they try to tell you they didn't get anything done.
Like this is all natural, and I'm like, please, hashtag suction.
It's like, like, why even like no, you paid for it, number one, so flaunt it now. Same with same getting a boob job. If you get a boob job, what's the point of fucking hiding them? Show your tits now.
There you go.
Yeah,
exactly.
Literally, show them. Yeah, like
those things.
Now, you guys, now we're dipping into some crazy territory here. Do you guys?
Wait,
I can already see where this is going. Where OG's like,
pull back.
I'll start with you, George. Do you prefer the boob job or you prefer more natural?
Natural all the way. Like, I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but it's like when I feel them, I would rather feel boobs. Like, I don't want to feel material in boobs. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Like it's like
Bags of sand.
like a bag
Bags of sand.
Yes, bags of sand.
Bags of sand, man.
It's like those like those I don't know if they used to call them like those stress balls where like they
Right.
do fill them like with sand and you try squeezing them, but they don't like suck in and then suck back out. It's just you just squeezing them and it just does nothing. It's like I don't know. It's the best way I could describe it. That I just no. I like the au naturel. I like to squeeze and feel and
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I get that. I get that. What about you, Holmes?
Yeah, I like it natural. I mean, it's hard to tell nowadays, to be honest with you, until you actually get down to it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So obviously, if I got with a female and asked her, or we got to like each other, and she did have those fake, boobs or whatever the case may be, I wouldn't think nothing different, or I wouldn't think nothing of it. But if I had a preference, if I had to say my preference, it would just be natural.
See, that's why I usually do like the boob check. So I drop something on the floor, like, and I get like close and I scoot down and I have like my cheek like rub against and just kind of see if it's
If your head bounces off. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Good.
oh, that's great. That's great. Oh, dude, George, you're hilarious, brother. You're hilarious. Oh my god. Okay, so our
I'll say
last
the
and
same thing real quick. I'll say something too. I agree.
Okay.
I agree with both of them. It's all natural, man.
All
But
natural.
if you're gonna come in with some big old fake tits, I'm not gonna not look. Come on. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yeah,
You know,
of course, yeah.
aesthetically, the fake ones look amazing because they're perfect. They're perfect. But yeah, I mean, when you get
But
down
not
to it,
oversized. You can't go too just match your body. Even though technically your body gave you what you had, but match them.
but
think
as they
you're
say in Indiana Jones Adventure, do not look into the eyes of the idol. So,
yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, then you should though. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Candid. You got to match. It has to. It can be fake, but it has to look believable.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, there you go.
You can't have a woman who's like 100 pounds and have like triple D's. It just looks weird.
But I will have to say, as much as I like all the au natural boobs, OG, you know this, but I'm an ass guy. Like I like to ask. Like if someone like had to ask me, are you?
Why does OG know this?
We've had some.
Did you just come from spend the night?
Yeah,
we've had some adventures in Cali, like on the So the question came up. It's like, who else did we ask? I forget. I don't know who we were on. We were on with someone else, and they were all asking, "Are you a boob or an ass guy?" And I'm an ass guy. Like
me too.
I when I look at a girl, my eyes just go south.
There you go. There you go. All right. Last and final topic of the day. We're talking spicy food. Candid Camper, I'll start with you, sir.
Why aren't we isn't that staying on the same topic?
Right. Exactly. Pretty much. Mr. Camper, what are your feelings on spicy food, man? You like spicy food? Not like it? In the middle?
So, I love spicy food. I cannot handle spicy food. My level of spice is hot Cheeto, and hot Cheeto is too spicy.
Oh, you pussy!
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks more than anything on the planet.
Wait, can you eat hot Cheetos?
Yeah, I'll eat them. Yeah, I can eat them.
It's not gluten. There's no gluten in them.
No gluten in them.
Oh,
I can eat
okay.
them. But yeah, no, I love spicy. I love everything that you can do with spices, especially Latin food. Fucking love Latin food, man. And then, but yeah, no, I can't handle it, but I'll still eat it. I'll try my best.
Nice.
Go down.
Nice. What about you, Tonez? You a spicy food guy?
I love spice. I'll say this though, there's a limit to where I can go. If you can't taste the food anymore and everything around it, to me it's. I think we were talking about this on our podcast. The spice, if you go too far and it blows away the taste of the food, like what is the point of actually eating spicy food? You know what I'm saying?
100%.
It's literally takes away all the flavor of everything because you're fucking dying from this heat. Like there's just no fun in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if I could I'll go as high as to where I can taste the food still. Past that, I'm just I don't want it.
I'm with you on that, Tones. Like, I love spicy food. Love it. I put spicy food. Like I put sriracha on my McNuggets. Like I'm into it,
Mm-hmm.
But there's a limit though. Like I recently went to this place by my house called Jaybirds, and they have like these chicken tenders and whatnot, right? And basically when you order, you go up to this like little like touch screen thing, right? So I'm ordering my food, and typically my spice tolerance is pretty high. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go for the hot tier, And I get the hot tier, and my food comes, and I'm eating these tenders, and I didn't expect it. So I'm eating it, and then all of a sudden it kicks in like later, And I'm like touching my face and everything, thinking I'm all good. Oh man, I was not all good because it was like on my nose and stuff, and my nose was like burning, and everything around my mouth was burning. I couldn't even finish the food, and like to your point, Tones, like it ruined the meal because it was too much. And so you can definitely go too far with it, but like spicy in general though, like I love it. And it's funny too because I go to like these places, right? I'll go to like a Mexican restaurant or like a Thai place, and I'll ask the waitress like, "Hey, I want to get this, but like, is it spicy?" And they almost always say like, "Yeah, but it's not so bad. Don't worry." I think because like I'm a white dude, like I wouldn't like spicy. I'm like, no, I want it spicy. Is it spicy? Let me know. I want it spicy. But spicy is fantastic. I absolutely love it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Were you gonna ask the same thing I'm gonna ask?
No, probably not.
Okay, let me ask, and then you
not.
can ask. You're good.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you mentioned 2 different types of nuggets in there. When you go to like Buffalo Wild Wings, what are you ordering?
Oh, you mean like the bone in or bone out?
Yeah, sure.
Is that what you're talking about? Or
yeah, what are you ordering?
I know where this is going.
What do you order at Buffalo Wild Wings if you were to go?
Yeah, I'll get like the normal wings with the bone, just like the hot wings.
Okay. You get flats, or do you get drums, or do you just get mixed?
Mixed. I can mess with. I fuck with both.
I love this question. I love this question. See, because for me, like if I go, I have to get a wing, like an actual wing, like bone in.
So
don't give me that boneless shit. Like if I want to do that, I'll just go into like my local grocery store and buy like a bag of freezer ones and heat it up. If I want a wing, like I want like a wing. But actually, I go more for the flats. For some reason, every time I eat the drum, the meat is just too tough for me. But that also goes with me because I have acid reflux and esophagealitis, I believe it's called, where my esophagus gets narrowed at times, depending on how much spice that I eat. But I love eating spice. I do it to myself because, I'm an Italiano. What could I say? But I have to, for some reason, the flats have a much more tender meat than the drums.
Yeah, like
interesting.
So this is concluded then that boneless is not a fucking wing.
No,
it's a nugget. It's a chicken nugget.
Yeah,
it's a nugget.
It's a nugget.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't give me that boneless wing shit. Just call it what it is. It's a fucking nugget.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly what it is. And you have those wings with like a nice cold beer. It's like just the perfect meal, man.
I was gonna ask OG. Has everyone ever said you look like Johnny Knoxville?
Oh, dude, all the time. I literally. Actually, someone commented on my video like recent, like just like a week ago with that. Yeah.
Run with it.
Yeah.
No, for real.
George, you remember Kiki and Luca? I think her name is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was her.
Okay.
Yeah.
George,
I get it all the time.
So you just look like another Italian guy.
Another time.
Hey, do we have time for 2 quick questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so this one was something I wanted to ask you guys.
Sure.
If you guys can design a ride at Disneyland, what would that ride be?
Ooh.
Oh. Oh, that's a good one. Well, George,
Okay.
you have a few, right? From Blue Sky stuff. Go ahead, you go first.
Yeah. So there's a little story to this. If I could actually add it in there.
Yeah.
So back in 2007, I went to Walt Disney World with my mom, and we were watching at the time at the Castle stage show. It was called Dream Along with Mickey. And it was about they were having a castle party, and everyone bring along their dreams and everything and share it with everybody. And Maleficent comes out, and she her initial plan is to get the kingdom to stop believing in the dreams, and basically her take over the kingdom. And of course, Mickey, comes out and has all the audience participation say, everyone chant dreams come true and everything, something simple. And it essentially defeats Maleficent's power. And there's a line that she said before she left the stage, and she said, one day the kingdom will stop believing and all will be lost. Remember, you haven't seen the last of me. And she let out this evil laugh and she exited off the stage. And actually, while I was watching that show, I was kind of, running through my head, and I thought, well, what if there was a part of the kingdom that did stop believing? And from them stop believing, the Disney villains moved into that territory. And what if they used that land to kind of create their own amusement enterprise and kind of hide it in a sense to get people to go there? So as people are enjoying their part of the land, it makes them more powerful. And one of the e-ticket attraction that I actually thought of was the Cave of Wonders. So you would have kind of like the Agrabah marketplace would be the queue. And as you're going through the queue, then you end up in the dungeon where Aladdin was being held. And the Jafar, dressed up in like the old beggar type of thing, he opens the wall and it takes you to the secret passage through the desert to the Cave of Wonders, where the Cave of Wonders you continue down into the queue, and that's where you board the magic carpet. And Jafar kind of captures you and withholds you into the Cave of Wonders, and it starts to you start to feel like the earthquake, and it's starting to cave in, and you have to use the magic carpet to escape before it collapses on you. So that was my e-ticket attraction tied to my villain land. Now, if only Tomorrow would get off his ass and create it, would all be happy.
There you go.
Have you have you read the book Kingdom Keepers?
I have.
Dude.
Yes.
I
love that series.
So
I love
good.
that series.
Kind of what you're talking about, but I like your idea better.
Oh, thank you.
By a lot.
Nice.
And you can use that Kuka arm technology for something that you're thinking about too.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, because with the magic carpet, you wanted to have it like that
that'd
free
be awesome.
floating type of, like you're flying.
And Nick using IP still.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be sick, dude. That'd be sick. That's great, George. That's fantastic. One thing that I've always wondered about was like Disney has really underutilized like the '90s era animation, like the Lion Kings, the Beauty and the Beasts, that era, which is weird because those movies were so successful, right?
Yeah.
So I would love to see like a big e-ticket Lion King ride, and like with the Lion King, it has to be something major. You can't do like one of these like little Fantasyland dark rides for Lion King because that movie's so epic in scope. So I would love to see like kind of like the Indiana Jones adventure where you're in like those Jeeps, like you're on a safari and you're just going through all these massive set pieces with like Scar and Mufasa and just have it real intense. And you're just going through all, the Pride Lands. I think that'd be a really, really dope ride. Actually, I think something like that would fit really good into like Animal Kingdom, So that's kind of what I would go for.
I never understood, for as big of movies as Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and The Lion King are, that they haven't put anything in there as far as attractions go. Like those are the Renaissance era movies that kind of got the Disney animation back up on its feet. It's like, why don't they? Yeah, we have the fucking magic carpets of Aladdin that's taking up all the space in Adventureland with that fucking spitting camel that gets on my nerves.
Yeah, and it's like, it's weird too because Disney, they'll completely ignore some franchises for like no reason. And then they'll go like all in, like with like we have like 3 Toy Story rides.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, spread the love a little bit. Like let's get something else in there. So what do you think, Candid? Like if you were to design something,
we're going National Treasure.
Oh, that'd be dope.
I'll fuck with you, but yeah.
Oh, that kind of would though be kind of cool.
That's a good
Nicolas
movie,
Cage everywhere.
Nicolas Cage.
It would be more one of those old school, probably an old school movie too. Like, oh man, I can't think. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Come back to me, Tony. What about you?
No, I kind of liked what OG was saying. You know how on like Indiana Jones, you're running away from the fucking ball in the car and stuff. I think like with the Lion King, you remember that herd that's running, and then you're kind of running away from that herd. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would be pretty dope. That's a pretty good one right there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. At the very end,
I'm
you see
sorry.
them coming towards you.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Tones. When you said, you're running away from that fucking ball, it was like takes me back to high school.
Do you think
too much dodgeball, bro?
Do you think we'll ever get like an actual like a full Tangled? What is up with Tangled, by the way? I feel like Tangled did well, right? To the point where they do push them a lot, but I don't see anything big coming out of it. Same with Stitch. Stitch was around forever. Stitch is still around, but they gave it that weird little layover skin. So I would say I would go with something with probably Lilo and Stitch and just have a reboot. And but make it a water ride, obviously. And they can do the same kind of style that the what that Donkey Kong ride's going to be. Except you're going to be kind of like on a surfboard, maybe, and then you can kind of just like hit fake waves, but you'll have water elements on the side of you, so you're kind of going in between water. So you'll actually have like water walls where you can put your hands out and touch water, but you'll be like suspended on a track and going through different things. I don't know, just different songs and stuff.
Well, that would actually make a really dope Moana ride too.
That would be, Moana.
What about like an Iron Man ride?
They have one in Japan, I believe, right?
Do they?
Is it Paris?
Paris, yeah.
Paris.
Oh, I think that would be dope, dude. You're like you're in his suit and you're like on a roller coaster and you're just literally laying down or laying forward and you just have your fucking hands out. Dude, that'd be sick, bro.
Oh, that'd be great, dude. That'd be great. That'd be amazing.
We need more water rides in general.
We do. That I agree. I think honestly, where these parks are located, especially Florida, it's like there should be a minimum of 2 water rides per park.
Yeah,
dude, we can do like an Emperor's New Groove. It just built like this. Was it Cusco-topia?
Cusco-topia.
Give us
that'd be great. That'd be fantastic. I think Coco would actually be great for a dark ride because the music is so good in that movie.
They're just wasting their time with that one in both parks. Easy. That's a good one. Did I bring that up to you guys before? Did I? I don't know. It was put in the Mexico Pavilion. How would you run that? Like, how would you run that queue line? I feel like that's the only thing that holds me back from putting it in there.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
It's tight.
Yeah.
In there.
Oh, it's really it's real tight in there. It's cool though. That movie is tight in there.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, it didn't come out. That didn't come out right. That ride actually, it was kind of dope because it's kind of reminded me like when you go inside, but you're inside, but you're outside kind of feeling. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah,
I like that in there. And then the Grand what's it called?
Grand Fiesta Tour.
Yes, and that's kind of I'm surprised.
I like
that. Yeah, me too. I really liked it. I thought it was fun. That was a lot of fun.
I'm sorry, like you lost me when you was like it's tight in there, and then it's like you're inside but you're outside, and then you're back inside. It's like
exactly.
Once in Mexico, right?
Yeah. Too much tequila.
Too much.
So for my last question, well, it's kind of like a conspiracy theory. I wanted to get your guys' take on it, but
let's do it.
Now I believe you guys all know the whole Walt Disney is frozen, theory that everyone talks about, right? You guys have heard of that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people and theories say that they made the show Frozen because when you Google Frozen and Walt Disney, the only thing that comes up is the show. Now, before the show came out, people would Google Frozen and Walt Disney. It would come up the conspiracy theory of Walt Disney being frozen still and stuff like that. But now when you Google it, it's the show Frozen.
That's interesting.
Frozen. That's interesting because Frozen the movie is based on a fairy tale called the Snow Queen, right? So it's like
why not call it just Snow Queen? Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, they did the same with Tangled, which is based on Rapunzel. So they were in that weird phase where they were like renaming these fairy tales, where before they never did that. But I can see them doing that. I can see them doing that. So now when you type in Disney Frozen, it's all the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Because
man.
there's actually a meme that goes around on Facebook. I don't know if anyone has seen it, like where it shows like it looks like a comic strip type of thing, and it's horrible, but it's funny. Where the mother takes their child and it says, we're going to see Disney on ice.
Oh, yeah.
And it's as they're entering in, it's actually the body of Walt Disney in ice.
Oh, I thought you meant the other kind of ice.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they were on some stuff going to see him.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man. No, you know what? What would you guys think about, like, with all this AI stuff now, right? This artificial intelligence.
Oh,
if they were able to, like, because it's getting weird out there now with this stuff, right? So, like, if Disney could, like, build like an animatronic Walt and basically have it be like an AI, where like it takes, like, they can like program in like old footage of Walt, and AI kind of takes over from there and kind of becomes Walt. Like, what do you think about something like that? You think that's too like weird, or you think that Disney would ever go in that direction with some of this stuff? Not even just for Walt. I mean, you can do that with like any former figure, or whatever.
I think it's gonna happen anyway. Like, all that shit that you're saying is gonna happen. It doesn't matter if it's Walt or freaking Abraham Lincoln. It's gonna eventually happen. So why not? We'll just do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's gonna eventually happen. Let's just get it over with now and so we can get used to it. But I think that'd be dope. That'd be dope.
It'd be crazy.
I like AI. I've been getting into it a little bit more and kind of using it in weird areas of my life, trying to see if it helps me, and it has. I can see it totally coming to the theme parks for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, if you can actually craft me like a Mila Kunis or maybe like a Jennifer Aniston and just send her my way, I'll be good.
There you go.
Science.
Yeah.
There we go. Well, thank you, fellas, for joining me today.
Yes,
the
sir.
Bad Thoughts podcast in the house. You guys do amazing stuff. You guys have great chemistry. They just started on YouTube, and you're also I'll go down and you can explain where you guys are at, and then also I'll put that in the description. But I'll start with you, Candid. Where can everybody find you on social media, sir?
Yeah, you can find me at the Candid Camper on YouTube.com or on Twitter, and then also follow us on the Bad Thoughts podcast on Spotify.
Perfect. And then right over here, we got Tonez. Tonez, thank you so much for coming on, brother. If you could let everybody home know where they could find you on social media, sir.
I do want to say thank you, OG, for having us, and George. Appreciate it, you guys. You guys do great work, and we'd love to be on again, and we'd love to have you guys on as well. Our podcast.
Absolutely.
For social media, just find me on Tonez_TV on all platforms, and of course, Bad Thoughts Podcast on TikTok and Instagram, and mostly YouTube. And we are on Spotify now, so go and catch our podcast on those platforms.
Check them out. And yeah, we'll definitely have you guys back on again. This was a lot of fun today. I had a blast with you guys. And then we got Citrus George over here, Mr. Boardwalk Pizza. If you can let everybody at home know where they can find you on social media, sir. And what's your room number at the what was it, the Swan and Dolphin, or wherever you were staying?
He wasn't even fancy. It was
the All-Star Music.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You know she wanted it.
Was it room number 55?
Yeah.
That'd have been amazing.
Exactly. That would have been.
Yeah.
There was
I can remember there was a 69 in it, but yeah, it's but I digress. If you want to find me, you could do so on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Disney George. You could check out the podcast I'm part of called A Walk with Walt. And, of course, you'll find me here on Orange Grove 55 with Citrus Corner with all that sweet, juicy, but sometimes sticky Disney news and info. And then also you can find me on my OnlyFans no, I'm just kidding.
So funny. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. Now, George, I want to ask you, because George is a big Carl's Jr. fan. Every time he comes to California, you stayed literally at a hotel next door to Carl's Jr.
Literally,
I mean, you are committed, and I appreciate it.
I have a shirt. of Carl's Jr. It's crazy.
It's incredible. So I think, you know what? I think it's appropriate, and we haven't done it in a while, George. We haven't ended on the Carl's Jr. drop.
I think we need the Carl's Jr. drop.
I think we do too. So everybody, have a great night. Oh, yeah, this is your first time with the Carl's Jr. drop, or
no? This is my third time. I love it. I love Carl's Jr. This is Tom's first Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is Tonez. Your first time with the Carl Jr. drop. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.